Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where tonight it's another battle of unbeatens going on in SFLm. The Chicago Warriors take on the Pittsburgh River Hogs. Winner goes to 2-0 and helps out their seeding for the double elimination tournament. Good evening, everyone. Alongside Rochelle Colston, I'm Cameron Irvine here in Pittsburgh, where King Jackson, Himothy Mossam King, and the rest of the River Hogs are warming up, hoping to get their first offensive touchdown of the season. Ray, you were here in Pittsburgh just a few days ago. Must have been nice to be staying in the same hotel all this week.
Yeah, it's great, Cam. Last week, it was a great defensive battle by Pittsburgh, and their defense bailed them out and scored a touchdown, which let them win the game, actually.
We'll see what's in store tonight, because Chicago had plenty of offense last week, 42 points against San Jose. Trying to keep that train going. It's Chicago's high-powered offense, Pittsburgh's rough and tumble defense. Chicago will receive the football, and we will get to see that high-powered offense on the field first. Pittsburgh will defend the north goal. We're ready to have some fun. Follow along with all the action tonight with Philly and Lexington, also on SFL YouTube, along with us. Going from right to left, Pittsburgh will kick it away, and we are underway. This kick to the 11-yard line, and Chicago will get the ball out past the 30 to the 35-yard line, and that is Henry McGee, one of the speedsters in SFLm.
Yeah, pretty decent return there, Cam. Good story in field position.
McGee was surprisingly a little bit quiet last week. The game got out of hand. Chicago was handing it off to Isaac Knox much of the night, 6'3", 235. The quarterback is Dylan Petty, 6'1", 210. He had an up-and-down debut, 8 of 18, but for 161 yards and a touchdown. Henry McGee, Hingle McCringleberry, and Bobby Tarantino are your wide receivers. This is a stacked tight end group with Rochelle Johnson, Abad Ruiz II, and Tyler Gregory. And keep a lookout for Tyler Spencer on that offensive line, number 59. They will start with an Isaac Knox handoff, and Knox will pick up 4 to bring up 2nd down and 6 around the 39.
Yeah, Cam, not surprised at all that they're running the ball on first down. They like their running back a lot on this offense.
This Pittsburgh defense has Theodore Rocker and Bubba Bruiser on the lines. Linebackers are Mojon Tanner, R.C. Puff, and Noah Davis. Safeties Jubilee Marsh and J.C. Wallace, one of 2 teams in SFLm without a corner on the roster, as Knox breaks free past the 45 down to the 43-yard line before shoved down. The man that made that tackle was actually the man with the pick 6 last week for Pittsburgh. Saved a touchdown there.
And a nice run there by Knox, picking up where he left off last week. I mean, Pittsburgh's got to find an answer for him quickly.
Chicago's in their Chicago flag whites with the light blue numbers and red trim. Red socks, white helmets, red face masks. Pittsburgh's in their all home grays with the yellow gold, mustard yellow trim, and a little bit of red as well. Petty back to pass, first time tonight, dumps it off to McGee, and McGee turns the corner. McGee using that speed to make something out of nothing, picks up 5 yards, ushered out of bounds by Mojon Tanner.
That was definitely something out of nothing, James. I thought they had him in the backfield.
McGee, he could be a special player in the SFL, making a name for himself. 2 catches, 38 yards last week, so they're already starting to get him more involved a little bit more here on the opening drive. 2nd down and 5. They'll go I formation here, as Petty will drop the pass against a blitz. He'll dump it off short. That's Henry McGee. McGee 25-20 and down to the 16-yard line, taking advantage of a weak secondary on the outside. McGee already matching his catch total from last week.
Yeah, I thought there for first and second Petty was in trouble, but he managed to see his receiver down the field and get the ball just in time.
Wow, great catch from McGee. That was not the easiest catch to make at his feet, but he makes
nice little spin move to make the defender miss.
Yeah, great job by Henry on the outside. Gets the ball inside the 15-yard line. Meanwhile, in the Lexington-Philly game, they're still scoreless. Kind of a repeat of Chicago and Pittsburgh and Bossier City last week, as we try to get our first points on the board here on our first possession as Petty sends a man in motion. Now 2 receivers to the top of the screen. Petty drops to throw, a couple of hitch routes, and that pass hauled in. A pickup of 5 yards to one of their many tight ends. That's Abad Ruiz the second with his first catch of the night.
Yeah, I mean, tight ends are great receivers on the field. In the middle of the field, they're big targets, easy to hit, and they got 3 of them, so look out.
Pittsburgh gave up just 1 offensive touchdown all game long last week against the Steamers in their victory. In danger of giving up 1 here on the opening possession as Isaac Knox is going to be dragged down and hauled down after a 6-yard pickup. That's Washington making the stop.
Yeah, great open field tackle, especially on Knox.
It's tough to do, as we've seen early on in this season. Both these teams trying to get to 2-0. It would greatly help their seeding in the double elimination tournament, which starts in a week.
Wow.
Handoff. Knox inside the 5. Knox has a first down to the 2-yard line. So this drive now 3+ minutes for the Chicago Warriors here in hostile territory.
They're doing a good job of ball control, moving the ball methodically down the field, mixing it up, passing in, passing in running this time. So
first and goal, they mark him down just outside the 1-yard line. Goal line defense. Here's Knox on a pitch, and Isaac Knox gets into the end zone for the touchdown. He's got another touchdown added to his resume, and Chicago's on the board first.
What a great block. I couldn't catch the number there, but let's see. Number 58 with a great block there to spring him loose.
Well, that's not what I expected, Rochelle, after the game that Pittsburgh played last week. Chicago, mighty impressive on their opening drive, and they did a little bit of everything. Dylan Petty completed 3 passes after completing 8 the entire game last week, as that field goal, or that extra point rather, from Hudson James is good. An 8-play, 66-yard drive. Chicago shows some balance, and they're on the board first.
Yeah, it's nice to see them less one-dimensional, Cam, for sure.
We're here at the Hog Pen, where King Jackson got injured on the first play from scrimmage last week, hoping to stay injury-free tonight. He did come back in later in the series, 6'6", 225. We'll get his first look. The wind is definitely at the back, or now in the face, rather, of Pittsburgh. Oh, there's a face mask there on Xavier Knight, who was returning. So that's going to set up Pittsburgh with a little bit better field position. Just an incidental face mask. Will move it 5 yards to the 29.
Looking at the stat sheet from last week for Chicago, apparently they like to rush the passer a lot. They managed 6 tackles for loss for their linebackers last week, so look out for the pass rush.
First down and 10 at the 29. 2 backs and 2 receivers to start for King Jackson. He'll hand it off to BB Blitz, and Blitz is going to be dragged down for no gain. And just as you said, Rochelle, that those linebackers active again. Stuart Gotts, who had a terrific game last week, makes the stop.
Yeah, Stuart Gotts had 3 TFLs. Casper Haddock had 3 TFLs, and defensive tackle Brendan Puff had 1. So he also had a sack, so look out.
6:08 to go in the opening quarter. Chicago leads Pittsburgh 7-0 after they scored on their opening drive. Eric Duncan goes in motion for Pittsburgh's offense. 7 in the box for Chicago. King Jackson drops to pass for the first time tonight. Jackson will dump it off short on a little crossing route. What a block, as that goes nearly for a first down. Keith Wheeler with the catch, but a brilliant job on the outside to spring Wheeler free. That was Blitz out there.
And King Jackson felt the pressure and just dumped it off to his closest receiver he could find.
Wheeler, the developmental player from Denver, 6'4", 255. One of 2 tight ends on this roster, along with rookie Jimmy Wint. 3rd down and 1 with 5:25 to go in the first. They'll toss it out to Blitz, and the block holds just long enough for him to pick up a first down. The rest of this Pittsburgh offense, Jackson, Blitz, Duncan, Knight, and Himothy Mossam King are your receivers. Wheeler and Wint at tight end. On the line, Kiara Kilganon, one of the newest additions in SFLm, playing center, and then Trey Hyman at tackle for Pittsburgh as Blitz is dropped in the backfield for a TFL. Terrific tackle from Michaela Foraker.
You got your cornerback blitzing also, Cam. They're Pittsburgh in the house towards that for quarterback.
Chicago's off to a really strong start, making things difficult. If it wasn't for that blitz block on that crossing route, this drive definitely would have ended by now. King Jackson faces immediate pressure, tried to dump it off on a screen pass to Blitz. That whole play was blown up as he's talking it over with Trey Hyman, trying to get the blocking schemes right.
Now you got a 3rd and long situation here, so you have to pass. And last week, King Jackson threw 2 interceptions last week, so he needs to calm down and keep the ball safe.
3rd and 12, the first down line is off the screen. They need about the Chicago 49-yard line. They go empty backfield, 5 wide receivers. 3 up top, 2 below for Pittsburgh. King Jackson faces a 4-man rush, and he fires it deep down the field and overshoots his intended target. That was Xavier Knight. Pittsburgh struggled with some drops a little bit last week, but no drop there as Jackson airmails it. Pittsburgh will have to punt.
Yep, and good job by Chicago forcing the punt. They should get pretty good field position here too also, Cam.
Punt is away for Pittsburgh to the 26-yard line, and Henry McGee is off and running on the punt return, going to be dragged down by the punter after a 16-yard pickup to the 42-yard line.
And McGee's definitely dangerous there on those kick returns.
We saw another 99 speed burner, Derrickis Iniguez, last week return a kick for a touchdown. And this may be the best punt return of the young SFLm season. Gets it up to the 42, and Rochelle, you hit it on the head. Great field position to start their second drive.
It was a nice punt, though, just a better return.
4:22 left. Wind is in at the back of Dylan Petty. He'll toss it out to Isaac Knox, and Pittsburgh closes it down. Excellent job from the River Hogs as R.C. Puff cleans it up.
Yeah, I mean, Knox is going to be hard to contain, so as long as they contain him, they get a good shot at winning this game.
3-0 Lexington puts in a chip shot field goal after Philly's goal line stand. That game now in the second quarter from Kentucky. Petty hands it off to Knox. Knox has some room upfield and picks up plenty to set up a 3rd and short for Chicago.
And Knox is a pretty decent sized back, 6'3" and 235.
Brian G., who's Isaac Knox in the chat, working on his 6 touchdowns so far this season. 3rd down and 1, 3:35 to go in the first quarter. Pittsburgh trying to get off the field for the first time tonight. The pitch out to Knox is going to get it, and Knox has some more out to the 35-yard line. Basically, Chicago was just bigger on that drive as no one could figure out how to get over to him.
And then they just kind of like shuttered him up out of bounds like for 3 people.
Chat shout-outs to J.W. Hartshorn. Congrats on your new promotion of head coach, Henry McGee. Ron Haynes in the chat. Brian G., as we mentioned, is here. Mojo McLean, John Fullerton, TJ Harper, and many others.
Wow.
As Knox picks up about 5.5 on the pickup, 2nd and 4.
I'm sorry, Cam, but if I was, if my halfback could get 4 to 5 yards to carry, I'd just keep feeding the rock.
Knox is doing something that really no other running back has managed to do, at least through the first 4 games of the SFLm season. He was really impressive last week and clearly leads the league in rushing yards. They toss it right to him, and Knox will pick up a couple more yards to set up a 3rd down and 3. Chicago loving the toss plays.
And definitely, they like their run game. They trusted Knox.
But this is what happens when you get into a run game like this, that you shorten up the game and you keep a team like Pittsburgh, who struggled offensively, hanging around as Petty will drop the pass. Petty rolls off his back foot, force the ball down the field, incomplete. Really should have been intercepted as Petty tried to hedge his bets. It'll end up being a 4th down for Chicago, and we'll see if Hudson James has the leg. I think he does. A 46-yarder, though not a gimme.
He was 1 for 1 last week, Cam. I don't think it was this long.
46-yarder for Hudson James, and Hudson James, he's got it. That kick
Wow.
is good. Wow, impressive kick from James, again with the wind at his back, but kept it between the uprights. A 7-play, 28-yard drive, and Chicago takes a 10-0 advantage over Pittsburgh.
Good job by Pittsburgh to shut him down. Bend don't break defense. Hold him to a field goal.
Kick is away from the goal line. And Knight on the return to the 28. Hudson James was in Lincoln in SFLm Season 7. He went 13 of 16 kicking, and then was drafted by the Denver Nightwings, was 21 of 25 this past season. His long was 47, and then he did miss his field goal last week. It was a 33-yard chipper, and couldn't squeeze it past the left upright, but his career long 49 yards in Lincoln, so he almost had it there as Blitz takes a carry and picks up just 1.
And Pittsburgh's struggling to get their run game going, Cam.
Blitz, 6'4", 245, 85 yards on 26 carries last week. Jackson threw 29 times in that win. He'll drop back to pass, some pressure off his right side. There's a flag, nearly intercepted, and then Wheeler actually almost came up with it. A lot of traffic and congestion in the open field. It looks like somebody got caught for PI.
Number 57. Casper Haddock.
Oh, yeah, can't do that. The hit wasn't the problem, but right there stopped the route and actually prevented Stuart Gotts from making a decent play on the football.
I mean, if you're going to do it, don't be so blatant about it.
Yeah, I don't think the vicious tackle at the end of it helped, Michelle. It's probably not the wisest decision.
Definitely not.
So Pittsburgh's offense gets to reset. First down with 1:48 to go in the first quarter. Ball at the Chicago 39-yard line. Play action from King Jackson. That fools the other. We got a penalty now maybe in the backfield, and that pass is hauled in by Himothy Mossam King. Nice play call. Oh, we got an injury as well. So a lot of action on this play. Kosher will go out, and I think we'll get the penalty call here.
I wonder what it is.
Let's see, an injury and a flag all in the same play very often.
And the flag was thrown early, Cam, so I'm not sure what happened.
It's a block in the back on Pittsburgh on the play action. That is going to be a killer. That's going to, and it was at the line of scrimmage too. That's going to make it 1st and 25. Here's another look at the block in the back. Oh, totally unnecessary. Why? That is just not keeping a cool head, Rochelle. Somebody must have said something, and that really hurt the offense.
Must have said something about his mom or something.
Something. That's, man, if I was his mother sitting at home, I'd go, just let him talk. Don't get the 15-yard penalty. You're embarrassing the family. Toss play. Oh, it's a fumble!
Oh, no.
And it's picked up and recovered by Chicago, and he's still running, and it's a big man touchdown. Brenda Puff, a big lady touchdown. The defensive tackle, the developmental player out of Denver, scores for Chicago. They pitched it outside to a wide receiver, and Puff recovers it. Nobody touched her, and Puff takes it all the way to the end zone. That is an incredibly impressive play.
I love big man touchdowns, Cam. They look confused for a second, like, oh, I have the ball. What do I do?
And, you know, I hate to call her big. What do we I've never had to deal with that situation. Usually it's always a man back there, but when you got a lady back there, 6'7", 325, what do you say, Rochelle, as a woman? Tell me what to say.
Tell her she's big boned, Cam.
She's a what?
She's big boned.
She's a big phone?
Big boned. B-O-N-E-D.
Oh,
like,
big boned. Oh, yes, absolutely. Like a river hog or a warrior, I guess. Way to go, Brenda. That was an amazing play, even though we have no idea how to call it. Brenda Puff with the touchdown. That was incredible. 17-0 Chicago to start this football game off.
I mean, when your offense is that potent and your defense is scoring touchdowns too, it's going to be a problem for Pittsburgh tonight.
That's Puff's first career touchdown. Played in Lexington in the minors in Season 7, drafted by Denver. So we've seen a bunch of Denver Nightwings making some plays tonight. And then here in Chicago, first fumble recovery of her career as well. Now King Jackson down 17-0. Has to get something going and finally finds Timothy Mossam King. There are no flags down to the 39-yard line.
And great job by the offensive line in Pittsburgh. King had all day to throw that ball. Nice route.
Couple
the
other
middle
looks.
of the field was wide open, Cam.
Yeah, it was, and that's a credit to the offensive line, giving King Jackson great time to find his receiver, Kilgunan and Hyman, along that offensive front. So first down and 10. Jackson going to throw again, and that pass is incomplete, but there's a penalty. I think that's on another Chicago linebacker again, getting a little handsy. That'll be another Pittsburgh first down.
Wow, you can't give him that many penalties on a drive, Cam.
That's Haddock again. Haddock's going to have to work on his coverage skills. Moves the ball up to the 47. Under a minute to go in the first and 10 at the 47-yard line. 7 in the box for Chicago. Jackson to pass. Jackson dumps it off short. That's Wheeler. This time Belitz couldn't get the block in time. Wheeler still manages to pick up 4 yards.
And great job after the play to pick up the extra yards after the catch. So it's like second and manageable now.
Handoff Belitz, and Belitz pushing forward, picks up a couple. Wrapped up there
that
by
time
a host of
Belitz got
Warriors.
stuck behind his blockers, Cam. Defensive line had some penetration.
Good stuff up front. James Ramos, who had an interception. It's crazy, Rochelle. In 5 quarters, Chicago's defensive line has an interception and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. I mean, that's hard to do.
Definitely.
3rd and 4. Jackson moving around in the pocket and throws an interception. It's picked up by Casper Haddock. So I guess the couple of pass interference penalties paid off, and what a first quarter for Chicago.
I guess all is forgiven now, Cam.
King Jackson turned his back to the football, just lost sight of Casper Haddock, and that was an ugly quarter for Pittsburgh. Chicago 17-0, dominating for the second straight game just this week. Warriors looking strong. We'll be right back. You're watching SFLm on YouTube. Start of the second quarter here at the Hog Pen. 17-0. Chicago has burst out of the gates, playing well as Isaac Knox gets lifted up off his feet and thrown down after a 6-yard pickup.
Now, if you're Pittsburgh, you have to come up with a stop here. Your defense is on the field for a long time.
And Knox is up to 11 carries for 66 yards already and a touchdown. They have struggled to contain him, as Coach Menner was saying that he thought they would have some success with that. So far, that has not been the case. As the handoff goes to Knox, and more good penetration from Pittsburgh, but it wasn't enough. Knox still able to get a few yards.
Yeah, Knox just pushed that line forward, Cam. The offense and the defense line.
3rd and short. This is a very difficult position to be in if you're Pittsburgh, desperate for a stop. Almost a sure thing that Knox is going to get this football here. Going to call a man in motion. That's Rochelle Johnson, the two-way dev player from Fort Worth. And they're going to run it opposite end, and Isaac Knox was caught in the backfield, but able to get away all the way down to the 28-yard line. R.C. Puff cleans it up. I thought Pittsburgh was going to have a stop there, but could not stop Isaac Knox.
He seems to be breaking tackles pretty readily out there, Cam. Number 20 couldn't bring him down. Number 44 finally gets an open field tackle, but too little, too late.
13 carries, 82 yards for Isaac Knox in the first half. He is proving to be the #1 weapon in the backfield in SFLm here for the 3rd consecutive half. Pittsburgh trying to get off the field. Knox is tired, so Knox takes a breather, and that helps the River Hogs. A 2-yard loss. R.C. Puff with another stop.
Yeah, R.C. Puff had tackle for loss last week also, so.
Wobbly pass is caught. Henry McGee, first down to the 18-yard line. Petty hit as he threw, and how often do you see that?
I thought it was going to be a pick, Cam. I said, oh, that ball's all wide like a duck. Lucky that wasn't a pick.
Right over the head of Mo John Tana, who just must have lost sight of the football, and even the crazy bounces going Chicago's way in the first half.
Amazing.
7.5 to go. Back to Knox in the ground game, and this time Pittsburgh all over it. Just a gain of a couple. Second and long coming up.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh's got, their defense is getting a little bit tired. Need to get off the field.
Two backs, 3 receivers. Nickel look for Pittsburgh. Toss. Knox breaks off a tackle and gets half of what's needed. 3rd down and 4. And the student body left, student body right, Rochelle, can get a little old, but it's effective for the Warriors here tonight so far.
Yeah, they're just doing it, very methodical. Nothing flashy for sure. Ground and pounding.
On 3rd and 4, Petty over the middle, wide open. That's Johnson to the 3-yard line. That is inexcusable there from the Pittsburgh defense, and Chicago just running amok here at the Hog Pen.
Yeah, Rochelle Johnson, big target, 6'5", 255 in the middle of the field. I mean, you can't get any more wide open than that, Cam.
Tell you what, Rochelle, don't let Chris Slovic call a Chicago Warrior game, because the Rochelle and Rochelle I think it might combust. I think
you didn't say Ray.
And off to Knox. That's touchdown number 7. That is a score.
Wow.
And Chicago has built a 23-0 advantage here in Pittsburgh. A shocker.
I can't imagine having 7 touchdowns in 2 games, Cam. He wants to beat DJ Moses.
And the 2 tonight have been relatively easy because, he's had the ball inside the 5-yard line and a chance to get in. But just wild from Chicago to come here on the road on a short week after blowing out San Jose and now blowing out Pittsburgh. It definitely, especially with the way that Pittsburgh's defense played last week, was hard to believe that Chicago would be able to get the output that they had last week, but it turns out they're just that good.
Yeah, we have a weapon like Knox out there.
Yeah, Pittsburgh needs a score and needs it fast.
Definitely. Need a couple before the halftime break.
From the 5. This is Timothy Mossam King on the return now, and he'll get it out to the 32-yard line.
Mossam King had a very good week last week. He had over 100 yards receiving on 8 receptions. So he is a big weapon for Pittsburgh.
In the other action around SFLm, Daisy Peace with a touchdown for Philadelphia. Deion James, the touchdown for Lexington. That game is just before the half, and it's the Miners now on top of the Cougars 10-7. Both of those teams won last week as well. Jackson with immediate pressure, but does a magnificent job of getting away from it and slinging the ball downfield to Xavier Knight. Best play of the night for King Jackson, first down Pittsburgh.
And I thought he was in trouble, Cam, but he just went around it.
Wow.
Made a decent, nice throw.
To be running left as a right-hander, throw with his body all kinds of contorted, and still put the ball right on the money. I mean, that easily could have been picked off. That was a brilliant throw.
I think he was facing forward when he threw that ball, Cam, which is really awkward.
That was a major league throw if I've ever seen one there from King Jackson, who is auditioning for an SFL spot, as that handoff goes to the backup back, picks up 4.
So Pittsburgh looking better on this drive, Cam. Their offense is clicking a little bit. A lot of pressure, though, coming from Chicago.
Just kind of like last week for Pittsburgh's offense, costly mistakes at costly times as Blitz fumbled the ball, and it's recovered by Chicago. Are you kidding me? Stuart Gotts with the takeaway. I can't believe it.
And to see a fumble, just one fumble, but to see 2 in the same game before the half. He just stripped that ball.
That was recovered by Michaela Foraker, but it was forced by Stuart Gotts, and Chicago's going to get the ball again to try and extend this lead. Unbelievable.
That poor defense of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they've been on the field a lot in this first half. Bad Ruiz, the second, goes in motion here for Chicago. Knox alone in the backfield off to his right. And they'll flip it that way. Knox in the open field, makes one man miss, and Knox has a first down after a pickup of about 13 yards.
That's like the third or fourth time RC Puffs made like a game-saving tackle. Touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, RC Puff is the real deal. But unfortunately, football's an 11-man game, and Puff is just one person. Can't do it all. Same look. Petty's going to throw. And that pass is incomplete, looking for McGee over the middle of the field. That'll bring up second down and 10.
Nice hit by the secondary there, making them drop the ball. Only something's going their way.
This crowd is just dead. I just can't believe it. Trying to will their River Hogs to some sort of a stop here. Second and 10. Petty going to throw again against a blitz. Petty down the field. That pass caught by McGee.
Oh, my gosh.
Inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Henry McGee having a a pro day party out here after a quiet week 1.
I'm not even sure how he even caught that ball, Cam.
Man.
Defender was right there. 2 of them were right there.
61 yards on 4 catches, and there's just nothing going the way of the River Hog here in the first half. Still 4:23 left to go in this first quarter, and it doesn't seem to matter whether it's Isaac Knox or Dylan Petty. Everything's working. Petty back to pass. That is incomplete. Looking for McGee. Again, Marsh on the coverage, and that is an obvious mismatch, Rochelle, outside with Pittsburgh's lack of corners. Henry McGee is a problem.
Yes, I mean, Pittsburgh literally has no cornerbacks. You have free safeties playing cornerback along with linebackers, which is always a mismatch. You're trying to do both.
2nd down and 10. We'll see if they go back to Knox here after 3 straight passes for Petty. No, Petty's going to drop to throw again. Petty over the middle. It passes intercepted, deflected off of a player, and Jubilee Marsh takes it away. Oh, man, did Pittsburgh need that. An impressive heads-up play.
Great job. I was very close to the end zone, coming with a big stop right there.
Oh, one-handed. Oh, my gosh. I thought he deflected that, but no, that was one-handed, and that is your nice hands catch brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands or hand and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. The play of the night by the team trailing by 24, Jubilee Marsh.
And reception by a defender.
4:10 to go in the first half. Now Pittsburgh really needs to get it moving, and Blitz gets nothing as Chicago shuts down the outside perimeter.
Oh, but, you know, Pittsburgh's playing it safe here, and I don't blame them. It's close to their own end zone.
Split backs in the backfield for Jackson, down 24-0. Pittsburgh looking for some kind of momentum here against Chicago's nickel. They rush 4. Jackson looking for an open receiver. Got a late block.
Oh,
Jackson goes all the way back across the field and zips one. An absolute Andrew Rastelli laser to Mossam King for 5.
Well, that's like a 20-yard pass to gain 5 yards, Cam.
That is true. You know, it was about a 25-yard. That's what it seemed like. I'm surprised Jackson did not take off and run there. 3rd down and 5. Jackson to throw and dumps it off short, and Wheeler can't get there. The pressure forced the check down. Wheeler comes up a couple yards short, and Pittsburgh, after the forced turnover, has to punt.
Wow, and they get the ball right back to Chicago, and they're going to have great field position here, I have a feeling.
Early in the 3rd quarter, Lexington still leads Philly 10-7. This is McGee from the 35. This time he's doubled up and will only get to about the 41.5-yard line. That's where Chicago will get their next possession. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. Okay, LaForker in the chat. Glad you're able to type, and you didn't try to type while driving, so that's all good. Knox will take the pitch to the outside pick up 6 yards. I mean, look, Chicago's not doing anything special. They're just tossing it out to Knox and picking up yards to set up a 2nd and 4.
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh's got to find an answer for him.
And these offensive drives have been so short. Knox has 18 carries, but Dylan Petty's probably close to 13, 15 passes at this point. Has definitely not been shy throwing the football. And then Isaac Knox with just a huge lane to run through right up the gut for the 1st down. Tyler Spencer and company moving people out there.
Definitely everything's going Chicago's way so far.
At the Pittsburgh 47-yard line. And we have hit the 2-minute warning. The Riverhawks desperate to keep this just a 24 6-point game. 2-minute warning. You're watching SFLm football on YouTube. Petty's under center with 3 receivers here as they start their 2-minute offense. All 3 timeouts at the Pittsburgh 47-yard line. Petty drops to throw, and Petty fires to McGee, and once again McGee gets the better of Pittsburgh. And I got to give Chicago some credit here for their passing attack. You know, you see a lot of times, Rochelle, teams go over the middle of the field a lot, but because McGee's got the mismatch on the outside, they're throwing beyond the numbers, and it's working.
And number 29 tried to bump him off his route. Didn't matter. He still got open. Made a great catch.
1:40 to go. Chicago keeping all those timeouts in their pocket here as they approach field goal range. Nickel look for Pittsburgh's defense. Draw as Knox will pick up a solid 8 yards on the carry.
He's a little slow to get up there. Came is getting a little bit tired.
Another look at it. I mean, what is RC Puff supposed to do? Knox is 6 yards down the field before she can even get a hand, or he can even get a hand on him.
Yeah, once the running backs momentum's going forward, they're hard to bring down.
1:12 to go in the first half. That's not Knox.
That's the first.
That is Hingle McCringleberry on the carry, and Chicago will call a timeout.
Now they're putting their wide receivers in the backfield, Cam.
Just nice to see a mix-up, right, Michelle?
Definitely.
2 receivers and 1 back in the backfield. They did not give McCringleberry the first down.
I thought he had it for sure, but okay.
Yeah, I did too. I don't think it's sort of the challenge at this point. Ruiz the second in motion, the developmental player from Vancouver. Straight back, fires a slant, and that pass is caught. What a was that McGee again? Man, Dylan Petty, that was clever right there.
That's threading it, Cam.
Wow. Dylan Petty looks much improved tonight after he struggled against San Jose in his debut game in the SFLm. Back to pass again. Petty goes down the field. That pass is caught for a touchdown.
Oh, wow.
Henry McGee mosses them 30-0. Chicago's got it all going on.
And what a throw from Dylan Petty. And what a night McGee's having.
I mean, just one-on-one. That's just not fair. Henry McGee.
Look at the placement of that ball.
Yeah,
where only he could catch it.
That's true, Rochelle. The placement, excellent. Helped McGee go up and get it. And, I mean, this is a stunner. Extra point for Hudson James is good. 7-play, 58-yard drive, 31-0. Warriors on top of the Pittsburgh River Hogs. When you're looking for the most up-to-date information on news and happenings in the Burgh, go to One Burgh, Pittsburgh's largest social media network. Tune in on One Burgh's Facebook and YouTube pages and check out the new series, The Incline Show. Pittsburgh does have all 3 timeouts from their 5-yard line. Mossam King on the return. Gets it up to the 31 with 55 seconds left. So we'll see if Pittsburgh can dial anything up. If I was Bossier City's offense right now, Rochelle, I'd be feeling a little bit nervous, considering that they only scored 7 against this Pittsburgh defense last week, and Chicago's hung 31.
Oh, I know, Cam. I mean, if I was Pittsburgh here, I think I'd just be happy going to the locker room at this point. Try to regroup, figure something out.
Well, not happy, but I get what you mean. As they'd be happy not to make yet another mistake, probably. 3 turnovers in the first half, 2 fumbles, and a King Jackson pick. That pass is caught by Wheeler. Picks up 4, and they're not in a huge hurry.
At some point, Pittsburgh have to test the secondary and throw the ball down the field. they're too far behind to just like a 5-yard dump here and there. And have to air it out at some point.
30 seconds left. Jackson going to pass. Jackson down the field, caught by Mossam King, and we'll get a timeout there. So Pittsburgh gets up the field quickly enough to give themselves an opportunity of points before the half. Even a field goal, Rochelle, just to give you some momentum going into the second half will be huge.
They get the ball back, I think, after the second half.
They do.
So
they could get a 2-for-1 here. Jackson faces pressure, and I don't know how Jackson got rid of that ball. That pass is hauled in for nearly a gain of 10 yards, but it almost looked like the Chicago defender almost could have swatted the ball out of Jackson's hands.
All right, and then the secondary was all over Eric Duncan there, the receiver. I don't know how he came down with it.
So one timeout left for Pittsburgh. Chicago brings more pressure, and Jackson finds Wheeler. Wheeler gets up to try and get more yards, but gets down to the 35, and Pittsburgh's in no man's land here, Rochelle. If they complete this pass in the field of play, they're not going to have enough time for anything. They're outside the 15-second barrier for a field goal, and with no timeouts left, they're in real scramble mode here. Jackson to throw, has to get it out of bounds. Deep shot, Wheeler not going to get out of bounds to the 22-yard line, and Pittsburgh's not going to have enough time to get another play off, and that's going to end the first half. Things go from bad to worse for the River Hogs, as Wheeler had a nice first half, but just not even close to the sideline. Wow, 31-0 is how the first half's going to end.
Just when they got their offense, moving the ball down the field, they ran out of time.
So just like last week, Pittsburgh shows a tendency to move the football, but just can't get points on the board from their offense. And at the half, Chicago leads Pittsburgh 31-0 in a shocker. Here's your first half figures. What stood out to you, Rochelle, in the first half?
The turnovers, Cam, the forced fumbles. I mean, come on. We're just stripping the ball away from them.
Petty 9 of 13. He was 9 of 19 last week. McGee's got 7 of those catches. I mean, you look at Pittsburgh's numbers. I mean, King Jackson is 12 of 15, but they have not been able to establish a run game whatsoever.
They had the same problem last week too, Cam. And Chicago is just cooking on all cylinders here.
6 yards a carry for Isaac Knox. Lexington up on Philadelphia 17-0 or 17-10. Chicago's trying to become the first team here in the SFLm season to win on the road. Chicago will have their one and only regular season home game on Friday, December 5th against the Bossier City Steamers. Bossier City better be ready for that one. Pittsburgh does get the ball to start the second half. That is a relief to this defense as Mossam King returns that one out from 1 yard out of his end zone to the 26-yard line. All right, new half, Rochelle. If Chicago can score 31.5, so can Pittsburgh, right? As they're going to need a complete turnaround. We'll see what they have coming out of the break.
Yeah, you got to score 31 points to shut down Chicago's offense, which is a big task right now.
So 9:56 to go in the third quarter. We're just starting the second half. King Jackson will drop back to pass. 12 of 15 in the first half. Now 13 of 16 as that ball completed for a 5-yard pickup out of the backfield.
That's not a bad play on first down. You picked up 5 yards. Quick little pass. They don't look like they're in any hurry, though, Cam.
Well, we got a long way to go. I think if they came out and hurry up to start the third quarter, I'd be pretty shocked. They'll hand it off to Blitz, and again, more penetration. I think that was Casper Haddock, along with James Ramos, that was wreaking havoc in the backfield for Blitz. It'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, Chicago keeps bringing that pressure every play on defense. So, I mean, Jackson's got to be in a hurry to get rid of the ball every play.
Blitz, nothing. 3rd and short. Wow, what a stop. I have no words, Rochelle. Chicago going to get off the field on a 3-and-out to start the second half. And it never really felt like Pittsburgh gave themselves a chance there.
And the linebackers for Chicago are just relentless.
McGee on the punt return to the 36. Okay, Rochelle, we're going to have to, figure out what we want to talk about or something. Because unless Pittsburgh's offense is going to get it moving, we might as well start talking about the offseason. How's your offseason been treating you, Ray?
Oh, it's been a little crazy, Cam. Very short, very crazy. Not long enough, Cam.
First down for Chicago at the 36-yard line. And the first play of the second half for Chicago is a draw to Knox, and Knox gets 13. I mean, Rochelle, he's running through wide open lane. Look at the blocking.
The offensive line and everybody else, the whole Chicago team does a great job of blocking for him. That's all I can say.
Yeah, this has not been, by and large, this has not been a broken tackle issue tonight for Pittsburgh. This has been a gap assignment issue as Isaac Knox is wrapped up there after a 3-yard pickup. But especially when Knox has ran up the middle of the field, it has just been all wide open.
I mean, yeah, there's 3 big tight ends helping you run the ball, which is very helpful for the Chicago offense.
Tie game at 17 in Lexington, between Lexington and Philadelphia. It's a good ball game over there. Almost taken out of the backfield. That was McGee on the carry. Only got 2. Pittsburgh into the backfield. Their defense getting angry. Their defense can make adjustments too. See if they can get off the field on 3rd and 5.
Yep, they need to stop here, Cam. They need it desperately.
Four receivers, 3rd down and 5. Roll out for Petty. Petty fires down the field to McGee, and that pass is incomplete. R.C. Puff in the area. And you could see, Rochelle, when they go to McGee up the middle of the field into the teeth of Pittsburgh's defense, McGee has struggled a little bit more. When they've thrown him on the outside, he's caught everything.
Yeah, Puff's doing a great job in the middle of the field there. We said his name a lot tonight.
So Pittsburgh finally gets a stop as Chicago's punt will drift out of bounds and will bounce out of bounds around the 20-yard line. That's where Pittsburgh will take over. Rochelle, go ahead.
I think you're getting open on the outside because they have no cornerbacks, Cam. They got 3 linebackers, 2 defensive linemen, and 2 safeties. So they're missing their cornerbacks out there.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting roster construction. Did not take a corner, neither did Albuquerque in the developmental draft when they needed it. As King Jackson drops to throw, he'll fire to a wide open Himothy Mossam King in a foot race. Look at the speed for Himothy Mossam King. He is going to score the first offensive touchdown for Pittsburgh this season. And it was a brilliant play by Himothy Mossam King to gain separation from the defenders, and he leaps into the crowd. What a moment for the River Hogs.
Yeah, I think Chicago was caught a little off guard there, caught sleeping. Mossam King found himself in the middle of the field wide open, and after he caught it, was off to the races, and nobody could catch him. Nice play.
Wow, incredible play for Pittsburgh to finally build some momentum here in the Hog Pen. It's King Jackson's first touchdown of the season for Pittsburgh as well. And Timothy Mossam King, who had an up-and-down start to his career in Vancouver, makes the biggest play of the game for Pittsburgh easily. An 80-yard pass. It looked like, Rochelle, they were in man coverage. Either the linebacker was supposed to have him or the safety was supposed to have him, and neither one had him. And he just got loose and scored. Kind of looked like the DK Metcalf touchdown last night.
Let's see what happens here. See if their defense wakes up now, Cam.
McGee on the kick return. Boy, would that have been a deflator if he would have brought that back to the house after all that. But Pittsburgh wraps him up at the 32.
Yep, I kind of held my breath there, Cam.
So, Chicago will start from the 32-yard line. Now, Pittsburgh can get a stop on this possession. That would start to make things interesting.
Definitely. We need interesting now, Cam.
We do. We always need interesting. Interesting is always better than a blowout late. Isaac Knox, not much room there. Going to fight for all he can get. Got about a yard and a half as Bubba Bruiser up front, the 6'3", 342-pound rookie, makes the stop.
I love that name, Cam.
That going on the all-name team?
I think so.
Second down and 8. 6:35 to go in the third quarter. Rochelle Colston on Cameron Irvine. Pitch out to Knox. And Knox will make it third and short, but a solid open field tackle for the Riverhawks.
Yep, so looks like they maybe found an answer to Knox.
Look at Puff. 10 tackles. And we're barely into the third quarter. Puff may set a rookie record tonight.
She's been all over the field, Cam.
3rd and 2. Handoff Knox. And Knox is going to get the first down.
Got it.
Just barely. Pittsburgh was fighting, but Knox fought harder. Gets the first down.
About to say, if you can hold him to 10 yards in three plays, you're doing a good job with him compared to the first half.
Trips off the right side for Petty. Completed as many passes in the first half as he did all last week. Hands it off to Knox on a little bit of a delay. That has been working all night for Chicago. An 8-yard pickup for Isaac to set up second and short.
Yeah, and that's our bread and butter, and it's hard to believe you can run right up the gut and get 8 yards.
Second down and 2. Ball at midfield. Toss. Knox has a first down off the block. Pick up to the 39-yard line. And there is Puff again making the stop.
She's got to be tired, Cam. She's like been on the, chasing everybody down the field today.
Tyler Gregory, the rookie, 6'7", 258 with that late block. And, Chicago's got 3-star tight ends on this team. And that's definitely going to help you in the run block department. They're the only SFLm team with 3-star tight ends on the roster. Petty deep throw down the field. That's caught. First down to the 24-yard line. Hauled in by Ruiz the second.
Now we're starting to see more passes to different players besides McGee. Nice route.
Made sure that R.C. Puff wasn't involved in that one. 4:38, third quarter. Chicago trying to answer Pittsburgh, and this is a heck of a drive to do that, to try and wipe away Pittsburgh's touchdown. Look at Isaac Knox. He wasn't even touched until he got past the first down line. Another Chicago first down.
I just noticed, Cam, we have an R.C. Puff on Pittsburgh, and we have a Brenda Puff on Chicago.
They got to be related, right?
I would have to think so.
Maybe RC is her husband, or maybe a brother. The Puff family, if you're in the chat, let us know. We'll make a note of it in our rosters. What an answer here from Chicago. After Pittsburgh gets an 80-yard touchdown to Timothy Mossam King, they drive all the way down the field. They're now in the red zone. Petty back to pass. Petty escapes, now throws left. Oh, McGee almost caught it in double coverage, and the ball was broken up at the last minute. That would have been super impressive.
Another great pay by the free safety, number 29, Jubilee Marsh.
Marsh saving the River Hogs skin on the back end here. 2nd and 10. To throw, Petty, end zone, McGee, touchdown. Easy, 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 and they wipe away Pittsburgh's score with one of their own. A deflating moment for the River Hogs here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, McGee just ran his route, got behind the defenders, and found himself in the middle of the end zone wide open. Can't get any easier than that, like you said, Cam.
Well, Rochelle, after 2 weeks of SFLm play, as McGee crosses over 100 yards along with Knox, I don't think there would be any debate about who the #1 team in the power rankings would be, as Chicago's got a couple of blowouts to their name, 38-7, a 9-play, 3-minute, 11-yard drive. Dylan Petty's been on fire, and Chicago's looking for back-to-back 40-point burgers.
And Knox is actually a real rookie, right? This is his first season in the SFLm.
Yeah.
Wow.
He has definitely made an impression in his first 7 quarters of action.
I'm sure he'll go early in the draft too.
And you know, teams are going to need guys. Even if Isaac Knox doesn't get a starting role, he could play a pivotal part on any team. And with the way that he's separated himself so far in this minor league season, it's going to be hard to not see him, you know, going pretty early in the draft if he keeps it up.
I definitely agree.
Can't wait to see what his combine looks like. Handoff, BB Blitz, and Blitz actually finds some space. That is a rarity. More yards on that carry than this entire game. BB Blitz picks up 9.
I mean, he should be a big bruising back, Cam. He's a big guy, 6'4", 245.
Yeah, true.
Almost built like a fullback.
And off to Blitz one more time. And Blitz picks up the first down. You almost wonder if the 6'4" frame is just makes him a little bit less nimble out there.
Maybe a little bit slower?
Yeah, could be.
I say that, but not the 6'3" and 235. So
yeah, not much difference there. That's for sure. 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Well,
nice.
Toss it out to Blitz, and Blitz got a couple of block pickups by Duncan and Knight on the outside, and scoops up 7.
If you're Pittsburgh, I think it's time for you to start. Now you're establish a run game. It's getting late in the game. You're down by a lot. You need to start passing the ball down the field more, Cam.
Well, they're shortening the game so their defense doesn't have to play as much because they got to play on Friday. This is a short week for all these teams. These teams will be playing 3 games in 8 days, and then of course the double elimination tournament on the back end of that as well. So it's tough wear and tear on these bodies, but fortunately, Rochelle, a lot of young players out here getting geared up for the pros.
So we're playing again on Tuesday night, Cam?
Yep, sure are.
Wow.
King Jackson over to Timothy Mossam King. He picks up 4. Kind of reminds me of putting up Christmas lights, Ray. Back when I was a little younger, all happened a little bit quicker, and it's been rough out there.
Yeah. That's almost like a baseball schedule, Cam.
Yeah, a little bit. King Jackson, 15 of 18, 3 for 3 here in the second half, has had a really nice night. Blitz will set up a 3rd down and short for this Riverhogs offense, just trying to make it back-to-back touchdown drives offensively.
They're still, pounding the rock here. But Blitz is doing a better job of getting more yards per carry right here, so there's an improvement.
3rd down and 3. Jackson to pass. Jackson rolls outside, incomplete. Pass intended for Jimmy Wint, the rookie. Would have been his first catch of the night. And that's going to bring out the punt team. Pittsburgh's drive stalls out. So, Ray, their only offensive touchdown of the season comes on a one-play drive. Still have just not been able to put the pieces together on a long, consistent drive.
If I was coaching, I may have to go for it here, Cam. You're in their territory. Can't hurt, but they choose to punt.
And this punt, high up in the air and shanked. It's going to take a Pittsburgh bounce, but it's not even going to get inside the 10. Not what they were looking for. Does creep inside the 15, though. But Chicago will pick it up there with 1:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. Have you ever wanted to be the play-by-play or analyst broadcaster? We are looking for passionate SFL participants or viewers like you to join the team for this minor league and next major league season. Please visit simulationfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and get your voice on the call. Knox busts out of a tackle and picks up 7 with about a minute to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, I don't know what Knox ate for breakfast this morning, but I really want to know.
Look at the blocks
Spin
on the
move.
outside.
Jeez.
Hingle McCringleberry, Bobby Tarantino doing a job on those Pittsburgh DBs.
3 tight ends blocking, you got 3 wide receivers blocking.
Second down and 3. Hand off. Knox is out. And the backup is wrapped up. Montana makes the play in the backfield. So sets up a 3rd down for Chicago.
Let's see if Pittsburgh can get a big stop here. Got Knox back in the game, though.
Crowd chanting defense. They got 7 in the box. Chicago's got the mismatch up front, and Knox just runs right through and picks up the 1st down. And that is how the 3rd quarter is going to end here in Pittsburgh. 38-7. Chicago all over the Riverhogs as this battle of unbeatens has been a surprising rout. Chicago on their way to 2-0. You're watching SFLm action on YouTube. Along with Rochelle Colston, I'm Cameron Irvine here from the Hog Pen in Pittsburgh.
How's the other game?
Tie game at 17. It's late in that one. If you're watching us, you're probably watching on both screens, or both games rather. Or you're just a diehard supporter of one of these two clubs. As Knox gets the carry and picks up 1. Montana with yet another tackle, the 2-way dev player out of Charleston.
I see you, Gunny.
Three receivers for Petty. 2nd and 9, hand off to Knox. And again, look at Puff. My gosh. R.C. Puff and Montana, they have been holding it down, particularly Puff, all night. 3rd and 7.
He's having a great game. Okay, 3rd and 7. Pittsburgh needs to stop.
Can they get one? Petty with 4 wide receivers. Petty drops to throw outside the numbers. Pass is caught. That is McCringleberry with his first catch of the night, and that says it all, right, Ray? That
yeah.
And some Pittsburgh fans, I think, lost a bet.
Wasn't a very good pass either. Somehow he dove for it, caught it with one hand. My goodness.
Yeah, not the best pass. That was Jubilee Marsh up in coverage. Not the best throw of the night for Petty, but there's Petty's numbers. I mean, a much better night. 12 of 18 for 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. They've definitely gotten their pass game going a little bit more here this evening. 1st down and 10. They have tossed it out of this single right formation a lot tonight. Picks up only 3. Pittsburgh's been better about it in the second half, but as they've shut down the outside, they've been gashed in between the hash marks.
And to me, it'd be a lot harder to run the ball on the inside than it would be on the outside. But
Petty to throw. And Petty over the middle as a catch to Rochelle Johnson. That'll set up a 3rd down and short.
So Rochelle Johnson is showing she can do other things besides block, Cam. She can also catch.
6'5", 255 out of Fort Worth. Knox back in on this 3rd and short play. Pittsburgh's been small in the box much of the night. Puff chasing Knox from behind, got there, but just a little too late. And the drive for Chicago will continue here with under 8 minutes to play. Check out the Yinzelvania.com for the largest collection of Western Pennsylvania-based gear. Whether you're representing Brady's Bend, Squirrel Hill, or Mount Washington, wear your area with pride. T-shirts, mugs, and more can be found at Yinzelvania.com. As that play gets 4.5 for the Warriors, and this clock will continue to run down.
Yeah, and if you're in Chicago, you're in no hurry to stamp the ball. You just bleed in the spot the best way you can.
Another 200-yard night for Isaac Knox. As Knox will be dropped for a loss of a yard. That is a rare sight to see.
Definitely, and once again, Pittsburgh can come up with a big stop here. Keep Chicago off the board. Get the ball back to their offense.
Philadelphia just kicked a field goal. They have a 20-17 lead. Lexington has a chance. That pass is intercepted by Pittsburgh, going back the other way. Could they make it 2 for 2? That is Tana on the return all the way to the 24-yard line. Mo John Tana with the interception, and Pittsburgh gets the stop.
Great job. Montana's been there. We call his name a lot tonight. He finally gets a break and with a big interception for Pittsburgh. My ball was thrown right to him, Cam.
9 tackles. These 2 linebackers have combined for over 20 tackles tonight. Tana with a 39-yard return as well. Tana's first pick of the season. And Pittsburgh's got a little pep in their step.
Petty's first mistake of the night.
31-0 at the half, and Pittsburgh has played Chicago even in the second half. BB Belitz gets 8 yards and into the Chicago red zone.
Yeah, Belitz is definitely looking better in the second half, Cam. Had a couple, huge 8-yard runs. Hasn't broken anything yet, though.
6:18 left here in the fourth. Draw. Belitz has a first down. And we all know this game is over. Right now, Pittsburgh is just trying to put together, an offensive drive that results in a score, right?
And give their defense a much-needed break, Cam.
.550 left. This is Xavier Knight going in motion. King Jackson looks for his second touchdown pass of the night. Jackson to throw. Jackson fires, tipped up in the air and incomplete. Pass was intended for Eric Duncan. 5'11", 240. Duncan probably going to be useful as a big body in the trenches to move the sticks once Duncan gets into the pros. Philly just got a pick 6. That game is over. Philadelphia is going to come away with a road win themselves. They're up 27-17 over Lexington with 42 seconds to go. Jackson nearly sacked. Mossam King hauls it in for an 8-yard gain. King Jackson, Rochelle, tonight has been really impressive under duress. Has really not panicked at all and delivered some nice throws.
This is where Pittsburgh had problems last week once they got into the red zone. It was craziness.
Let's see if they fixed it. 3rd and 2 from inside the 5. Bullets can't get in, and it's 4th and short. Haddock with the takedown. An up and down night for Casper Haddock, but they definitely saw him on that play.
Now what you do, Cam, you kick a field goal or you go for the touchdown?
Points are points at this point in the game. Probably onside kick it here. Kick is good. 38-10. Get Jackson Arthur into the box score. He's 6'1", 195 rookie kicker. 6-play, 21-yard drive. Gets Pittsburgh another field goal. So they have officially outscored Chicago in the second half, which is wild to say.
Yeah, they did a good job on defense the second half. The dreaded onside kick.
Onside kick for the River Hogs. Going to bounce straight up in the air, and Pittsburgh touched it first. So, and it's the ball is still up in the air, up for grabs. There's an injured player. It's Corey Ivy for Pittsburgh. So a lot to settle here for the second time tonight. It's a dead ball foul, so Pittsburgh's going to get another opportunity to make this kick just one more time.
That didn't go far enough.
No, it did not. Although it hung high up, it hung high enough in the air that Pittsburgh, if they just would have waited patiently, I think they may have had a crack at it. But instead, they'll try it one more time. See if they can get lucky. Short kick again, and
nope.
An overzealous lineman touches it too early. So Chicago's going to get the football, and that's going to be the end of that. That's going to give the Warriors an opportunity at their second consecutive 40-yard or 40-point performance, I should say.
And they had the ball on the 29-yard line at that. Wow.
Ball on the Pittsburgh 29. A lot of Isaac Knox coming your way.
Oh, I'd imagine.
Petty dumps it off to Knox, and an excellent open field tackle by Noah Davis. Chicago keeping things a little bit more balanced, even with the big lead. They're getting Dylan Petty opportunities and looks, and I could appreciate that.
Yeah, but I mean, and Pittsburgh's done a great job on those little passes to the outside. I mean, it's up the middle that's been killing them.
4:20 left and counting. Hand off, Knox, and Knox will scoop up 9 more yards to his total. 3rd and 1 coming up.
I think Pittsburgh would have kept more people in the box most of the night. Maybe a little bit different up the middle. The linebackers are playing back, though.
Yeah, not a lot of heavy boxes for Pittsburgh tonight. A lot of 3-down linemen defensively. 3:45 to go in the fourth. Another 3-down lineman set, and look how heavy Chicago is up front with all these big bodies they have on this roster. I mean, Knox is going to get 3 in his sleep there, Rochelle, because they're just outmatched up front, really.
You have 7 on 3 up front for the most part. It's been happening all night. They land those tight ends almost every time. And they're big body tight ends. It's like having 7 linemen.
3:15 to go in the fourth quarter. And Chicago knocking on the door of back-to-back 40-point games. They won last week 42-14, a 28-point win. They're up right now 38-10, a 28-point advantage. Henry McGee goes in motion to the outside. He's got to hurry up and get set. They'll flip it out there. McGee's out there to block. Isaac Knox breaks a tackle inside the 10. Knox going to be tackled from behind by Jubilee Marsh inside the 5. And under 3 to play, it could be another Knox touchdown coming up.
I mean, look at this blocking, Cam. And they have so many blockers on the field.
40 carries, and it's our daily PSA to remind you that stamina is not currently off. There is forcibly teams do not have backup running backs on SFLm because we try and open up spots for other positions to make sure that our draft classes are balanced. So because of that, running a backfield, a light backfield across the league outside of Albuquerque, who picked up a developmental player draft, and that is just a walk-in. That's a touchdown vulture right there, as Chicago gets the score and goes up 44 to.
That was a backup game. That's a backup halfback making that touchdown.
Everybody doing it on this roster in a tough night for the River Hogs. They'll lick their wounds and go on the road for the first time. They will take on San Jose in the nightcap December 5th on Friday. Extra point for Hudson James. He's been a busy man. Is good. SFLm action continues tonight at 10:15 p.m. Eastern with 4 teams all looking for their first wins of the season. First, Albuquerque heads to Nashville in the Tempo's inaugural home game. At 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Bossier City opens up to the Louisiana crowd and takes on San Jose. It's all coming up right here on SFL YouTube. So this one got away from Pittsburgh. A close game in Lexington where the Cougars came away with that 27-17 win. That game is final. And, you know, the way this double elimination tournament works, Rochelle, is that all 8 teams will make it. They'll be seeded based on their overall record and then point differential. So Chicago, being the 1 seed, would play one of the teams at the bottom of the standings. And then the winner of that game would go into the winner's bracket. The loser of that game goes into the consolation bracket. And they have to fight their way all the way back to the title game. You mentioned baseball earlier tonight, Rochelle. You're very familiar with double elimination following the College World Series, and we'll get to see it in football for I think the first time anywhere.
So when you get to the championship game, is it winner take all? Or
Nope. Okay. It's 2 legs. So that team that fights their way all the way from the bracket, if they hand that unbeaten team their first loss in the title game, will come back for a rematch for it all at that point to win the tournament.
Well, that's a new interesting twist.
Pass is caught by Mossam King. That's for a first down, and that gets us to the 2-minute warning. Chicago 45 and Pittsburgh 10. You're watching SFLm action on YouTube. You know, Rochelle, usually in a 35-point loss, you're looking at the quarterback and saying, well, didn't really have a great night. That has not been the case in this game. King Jackson has played pretty well, considering that they only have 10 points up on the board. There's Mossam King's terrific numbers. It's just been kind of a bizarre game where, I mean, from the jump, Pittsburgh's defense has just had no answer.
And the fumbles, I mean, you had 2 fumbles in this game. One was returned for a touchdown.
That's true, and Jackson's going to take the first sack of the game as Pittsburgh will burn their first time out. Chicago next week is going to go home to take on the Bossier City Steamers. Bossier City looking for an important win tonight against San Jose. Those are 2 desperate teams as that pass is incomplete. Neither offense played well last week. San Jose had that the 2 fumbles in the backfield, and then Chicago's James Ramos with an interception as a defensive end, jumping a screen pass set up for their back, and it was just all kinds of mess for San Jose. And when you really think about it, Rochelle, as Jackson drops to throw on 3rd and 16, that pass is almost picked. What an effort by Stuart Gotts as he tried to get another one 4th down coming up. But I think what's interesting about the Chicago team so far this season is they've forced 4 fumbles, Rochelle, like in 2 games. That is incredibly unusual, and their offense is going to get a lot of credit, but his defense has been pretty good too.
Definitely. I mean, you had a defensive touchdown tonight. When you have D-line making interceptions on your team, that's quite impressive. Like last week.
4th and 16. Jackson needs the 49-yard line, and he's not going to get it, not even close. Worst pass of the night for Jackson. It's going to be taken to the house. Pick 6, touchdown Chicago. They hang 50 on the road in Pittsburgh.
And unfortunately, those points go to your defense.
That's just a bad pass from King, and it's a
no
shame,
receivers
Rochelle,
in the
because
area.
he had a great night, and that's gonna kill the stat line.
And there were no receivers even near there. I was like, where are you throwing to?
So all 4 home teams win in week 1 of SFLm, and now both road teams have won to start the evening as Hudson James extra point is good, 52-10. Hudson James has kicked 7 extra points. The kicker for Chicago has as many points as Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
River Hogs are going to fall to 1-1, and barring something wild, will have lost their opportunity at the 1 seed in the double elimination tournament. Of course, you want a top 4 seed so you can get that home game to start the tournament.
But Chicago doesn't care where they play, apparently, home, away.
Yeah, that's a good point. Michelle, the schedule for SFL Season 22 comes out on Saturday the 9th. What do you most look forward to on schedule day?
Just to see who I'm going to play all season, Cam. See how tough my schedule's going to be, Cam.
Oh, come on, that's an Eddie line.
I don't know. Last season, we had a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, that is true. 1:30 left to go. King Jackson zips one. That's Wheeler. Awesome King scored on a similar play in the 3rd quarter. Wheeler, who's been really quiet in the second half. Chicago's done a nice job shutting him down. Makes another grab. 7 catches, 63 yards, but that was his first catch since halftime.
So I guess my question, Cam, is I know I play everybody in my division once. The other games are just random?
Yeah, you'll play 2 teams from every other division, not your own. 2 of the 5 teams, and that was done at random to ensure that the schedules were as close to each other as possible in terms of strength of schedule. So whether you finished last or first, the effort was to try and have schedules that were all even heading into the season. So whatever allowed your schedule to have that's who you will be playing. So it was random, but it wasn't random at the same time.
Gotcha.
No timeouts left for Pittsburgh, as King Jackson trying to put another touchdown on the board, and
Wow.
Wheeler was wide open, and he just overthrew him.
Now, Jackson looked composed all game. He looks a little shook up right now.
It just seems like he's just forcing the issue now. He's trying to make up for that interception, and Jackson just airmailed that one. 2nd down and 10. 1:22 left as this game drags on here from Pittsburgh. These fans want to go home. Not the way they wanted to end their 2-game homestand. Pittsburgh hoping they can get another home game in the tournament, as that pass is overthrown. Looking for Knight. For Duncan, rather.
I mean, I know it's 4-down territory here.
Third and 10, 1:18 to play in the 4th quarter. More SFLm action kicking off in about 28 minutes. right here on SFL YouTube as that pass is hauled in by Wheeler. Got a first down to the 12-yard line. Keith Wheeler continues his impressive night. Everybody's going. Wheeler end zone.
Nice.
Touchdown. And Pittsburgh's got 17 offensive points here tonight. Their defense let them down, but their offense has had a strong second half.
Yeah, definitely, Cam. I mean, defense in the first half, it was like there was no answer for Knox. No, that was the the basis of the game.
Well, Chicago
The fumbles.
What'd you say, Ray?
Between the fumbles and Knox in the first half.
Yeah, the fumbles were an absolute killer because Chicago's offense was already humming on all cylinders, and then they gave them short fields. That was the best drive of Pittsburgh's season so far offensively. 6-play, 68-yard drive. They are out of timeout, so if Chicago recovers, the game is over. We've known the Warriors were going to be going to 2-0 for a long time as this onside kick is caught.
Oh, no.
And returned past the 20, and down to the 15-yard line. That was dangerous. Chicago almost scored on special teams. That would have gotten Cliff Allen out of his seat. I mean, right to him. And
nobody's there. Oh.
Wow, Pittsburgh very lucky there. Chicago can take some knees and get out of here with the victory, fully healthy. Dylan Petty, strong night. Isaac Knox, Henry McGee had his best game as a rookie. This offensive line was putting in work. Brenda Puff had a fumble return for a score. Haddock had an interception. Michaela Forker did as well, and Hudson James had 10 points all to himself. What a game for Chicago.
Definitely. I mean, definitely a whole team participation there, too, by Chicago.
With all that being said, Rochelle, who is your player of the game? It's a tough one tonight.
I'm going to have to go with Knox.
Isaac Knox, back-to-back 200-yard performances. And Chicago's offense was on the field a lot in this football game. The Warriors are 2-0. What a start for TJ Harper, Type Attack, John Fullerton, the Seattle crew who are behind Ethan Kai, Paulie Truth, Doug Day in Seattle's ownership group. It's like Seattle Light for Chicago, and their season is starting just like the SFL season did. Strong and unbeaten, 2-0. Chicago drops Pittsburgh to 1-1. We'll take a look at the final stats coming up here shortly. Isaac Knox, your player of the game from Rochelle Colston. And what do you want to see out of Pittsburgh in their next game, Rochelle, as they try and shake this off and get to 2-1?
I think next game they need to find that, put more linebackers in the box, basically. You can run the ball up the middle. You got to stop that.
Yeah, both teams over 300 yards of offense. It's not, again, Pittsburgh last week did have over 300 yards of offense as well. It's not like they didn't move the football, but really struggled to slow down Chicago tonight. 388 yards, 227 on the ground, 161 through the air. A balanced night for the Warriors. For Rochelle Colston, I'm Cameron Irvine. More SFLm action coming up tonight. Albuquerque at Nashville, San Jose at Bossier, for desperate teams trying to avoid 0-2 to start this abbreviated season. From all of us at the SFL, hope you enjoyed this broadcast and have a great night, everybody.